Back here on CBS Sports HQ, our HQ training camp tour continues. We need like a reality show, keeping up with Evan Washburn, because he has just been on the move, bringing us great stuff from Bills camp, like the DAP of all DAPs with Josh Allen, from Lions camp over to Minnesota, and then it was at Chiefs camp yesterday, catching up with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Now Evan has made his way over to Foxborough there to speak with Vrabel and Drake Maye over at Patriots camp. So let's welcome in Evan Washburn, a very busy guy. We appreciate it, Evan. Here at Patriots camp, it's a different era loading, right? Because they're coming off of a 4-win season, last in the division, but it's year 2 under Drake Maye. And something that we're hearing a lot in terms of Vrabel is stability in his staff. So in catching up with him and being there, is that the sense that you're getting as well?
Jacqueline, I think you framed it perfectly. It is about setting a foundation and some consistency in terms of messaging and what's expected of the players and what they're trying to build here, with an acknowledgement that they're still very much in the early stages of this build. And what Mike Vrabel does is he makes it so clear to everyone involved, whether it's support staff, fellow coaches, players most importantly, on what's expected, what they're going to try and do, and then they take that to the field. So I think that's the start, and then it becomes about their ability to perform under the scheme that they want on either side of the ball. And then at some point, it's about the players and how many good players they're able to put out on the field. And I think right now, that's where they find themselves in a bit of that transition, as you noted.
And when we look at the quarterback position, I remember this time last year, we were like, hey, you guys have Drake Maye. What's going on? He's the starter, right? And there were still some questions out there. There is no question here. It is Drake Maye's time as he is going into year 2. He's going to be under 4 different OCs if we go back to his time at UNC. But, Evan, what is his mindset here going into a new season under Josh McDaniels there?
Well, Jacqueline, we just spoke with him, and if you spend any time in and around Drake Maye, I mean, he's all smiles. He's extremely positive, energetic, and I think despite the struggles as a team, and even he had in year 1, I didn't get the sense that he felt beat down by it at all, and he's extremely optimistic and energized by the fact that he gets to work with a legendary offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniels. And I think you can look at what Josh did as a head coach and have that be part of his story, but when it comes to building out quarterbacks, play caller, schemer of offense, there's none better. And I think that has given Drake Maye some real comfort, even though it's extremely challenging. He coaches hard. He asks a lot of his quarterbacks, and Drake Maye's feeling that right now, but he seems to have taken to it really well. I don't get bogged down in these training camp stats and how people track everything, but the fact that Drake Maye allegedly hasn't thrown a interception in what is now 8-9 days of training camp practice is pretty impressive.
So I know you mentioned, of course, we don't want to ring the alarms about anything that's coming out of training camp in terms of stats, right? But there are some reports out there saying that their first-round pick in Will Campbell is struggling. And I remember, the length of his arms, that was a huge topic of conversation and everything at the next level when he was a prospect going into the draft. But, Evan, what have you seen from him at camp?
Well, that's the tricky part, and you're a luck of the draw, if you will, based off of what day you show up and what's in the practice plan. Today, the Patriots, it was basically an elevated walkthrough. They weren't in pads. They've been going hard for about 2-3 days here in the heat in full pads, and then they have what appears to be more of a scrimmage in the stadium tomorrow. So in terms of evaluating offensive line play, this was not the day to do it. But what I can say, big picture view, and you touched on some of this, it's not time to sound alarms when it comes to rookie performance at any position, but especially offensive line. There is such a steep learning curve and physical curve that comes with that position. He's out there at left tackle. He's running with the ones. Those are all positive signs. Yes, will there be moments of growing pains? Absolutely. I think that's part of the story with this team in general. As much excitement as there is, because it's Mike Vrabel and it's Drake Maye, who's shown flashes, Stefon Diggs. This is still a team that's got a lot of holes, and they start on that offensive line.
You mentioned Stefon Diggs, so I want to talk about him because he is, in this young team, a veteran presence in that wide receiver room. Of course, in the past, in his past teams, there have been conversations about, him maybe being a problem in the locker room and some of the offseason things that we've seen. But, Evan, have you noticed him kind of stepping up into a leadership role as being a veteran presence there with the Patriots?
That's the sense everyone is given. I think just from being around Stefon Diggs in years past and then seeing him here and talking to him briefly, he is every bit the person he's been, which is energy. And that's a form of leadership. He likes to bring everyone up. He's also extremely competitive, and he will be demanding of whether it's his quarterback or his coaches. But even Drake, talking to him after practice about Diggs, he loves that he has someone like that with him this year as they look to navigate this season and work through what is a new offense. It is an extreme security blanket to have a player like Stefon Diggs, despite coming off of a torn ACL, because he can get open, and he can get open in short area when you need to get the ball out quick, if maybe your offensive line's a vulnerability. I think Diggs is going to have a really effective and productive season and really help buoy this offense as they find their sea legs, to use, I think, 3 nautical terms in one answer.
It's kind of on brand, right? Like, you're in the area. You got to work it in, sort of,
that's
right? You know, it's a new era. We keep talking about it. New head coach, new OC, just new offense in general. And there are high expectations. Maybe even Vegas is feeling that as well, because the Patriots are favored in 11 games this season, which I had to ask our producer, Michael Bonavita, if that was true, and he confirmed it, right? Does that feel right to you after this team had 4 wins last season?
I defer to you, to Michael, to the Sportsline folks on how that all goes down. It does seem a bit high. It does. And I think when you're ranking schedules this time of year, it's a bit of a fool's errand, because so much can change really in a moment based off of injury. But I think that speaks to, and it's kind of how we started this conversation, Jacqueline, with the amount of belief in what Mike Vrabel can do, because he's done it. And he did it similarly in Tennessee with rosters that I wouldn't say were littered with all pros, and he gets the most out of them. He maximizes every game. He knows every aspect of situational football. He doesn't lose games. And this goes back to even a Bill Belichick aspect of coaching and of team building. They figure out a way to not lose games before they go out and win them. And that's something that sounds obvious, but a lot of teams in the league don't do. And so I think that is why maybe Vegas or those on the outside are believers that New England could be frisky. And I do believe that they're going to be a team that's going to be really challenging to play week in and week out. Whether or not that means a lot of wins, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and to your point about Mike Vrabel, this is what the 2021 Coach of the Year that we're talking about. Evan, we certainly appreciate it. I know you were a busy guy, and the training camp tour certainly continues for you. Great stuff as always. We really appreciate it as we joining us from Foxborough for Patriots camp. And speaking of the upcoming training camp tour, we have the Raiders coming up next, the Bengals, the Commanders, the Falcons, Browns, Texans, and then on August 6th, the Steelers and Mike Vrabel's old stopping grounds in the Tennessee Titans.